In the affluent neighborhood of Dallas, Texas, nestled among grand estates and manicured lawns, stood the Manning Mansion, a sprawling residence that epitomized wealth and luxury. Inside, a carefully orchestrated world of opulence and exclusivity masked the sinister undercurrents that flowed beneath its polished surface. Derek Brown, a 32-year-old black male nurse with over a decade of experience, had just received an unexpected phone call. Known for his dedication and professionalism, Derek was accustomed to providing compassionate care, but this offer was unlike any he had encountered before. Henry Manning, the son of an elderly woman named Martha Manning, was extending a job offer that seemed too good to be true. Henry, in his 40s, was offering Derek a staggering $7,000 a month to care for his mother full-time. The salary alone was enough to pique Derek's interest, but it was the circumstances that warranted a closer look. Martha Manning, at 80 years old, was reported to be in a vegetative state. The Manning family lived in a luxurious mansion, and their desperate need for a 24/7 caregiver was underscored by the exorbitant salary they were offering. Derek, intrigued but wary, decided to dig deeper into the Manning family's situation before committing to the job. After conducting his own research, Derek learned that Martha had been bedridden and unresponsive for several years. Despite the gloomy prognosis, Derek's instincts told him that there might be more to the story than what met the eye. The prospect of such a high salary for a seemingly straightforward job aroused his suspicions. Nevertheless, Derek agreed to the position, compelled by both the financial opportunity and a curiosity that urged him to uncover the truth. Upon his arrival at the Manning estate, Derek was struck by the mansion's grandeur. The estate was a testament to the Manning family's wealth, with its lavish furnishings and sprawling gardens. He was greeted by a somber and reserved Henry Manning, who seemed to be hiding his own anxieties behind a mask of polite indifference. Derek's duties began almost immediately. He was shown to Martha Manning's room, a spacious and immaculately decorated chamber that was home to a bed with a multitude of pillows and a serene, though unsettling, stillness. Martha was indeed lying in bed, her eyes closed and her body motionless, just as Derek had been told. But as the days passed, Derek's careful observations began to stir doubts. He noticed subtle signs that Martha might not be as unresponsive as she appeared. One evening, as Derek adjusted the curtains to let in the dim light of dusk, Martha's eyes fluttered open. Derek, caught off guard, tried to maintain his professional composure. Martha, with a weak but determined voice, whispered, "I'm not as unresponsive as they believe." Her words were barely audible, but they carried a weight of hidden truth. Shocked, Derek leaned closer. "You're awake?" he asked, his voice a mixture of disbelief and concern. Martha nodded slowly, her gaze fixed on him. "I've been awake for months," she admitted. "I've been pretending to be in a vegetative state because I'm afraid. My children, Henry and Laura, want me dead. They plan to kill me to inherit my fortune." Derek was stunned. The notion that Martha's children, driven by greed, would resort to such extreme measures was horrifying. Martha's confession revealed a dark side to the Manning family that Derek had not anticipated. As he processed the gravity of the situation, Derek's professional instincts kicked in. He realized that he was now part of a dangerous plot and that his role extended beyond mere caregiving. Martha continued, her voice trembling. "They've been plotting for a long time. I heard them discussing it while I pretended to be unresponsive. They're ruthless, Derek. They think I'm nothing more than a means to their end." Determined to protect Martha, Derek knew he had to tread carefully. He couldn't simply walk away from this situation without risking Martha's life. He assured her, "I'll help you expose them, but we need to be careful. They can't know that you're aware." As Derek settled into his new role, he maintained the pretense of Martha's vegetative state while secretly gathering evidence of the malicious intentions of Henry and Laura Manning. The mansion's luxurious facade now felt like a trap, and Derek was resolved to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. In the days following his startling discovery, Derek Brown meticulously balanced his role as Martha Manning's caregiver with the covert mission of uncovering her children's plot. The opulent yet claustrophobic confines of the Manning mansion, where each room was adorned with costly artifacts and intricate decor, had become a stage for a dangerous game of deception. Derek's days were filled with the routine tasks of caring for Martha, but his nights were consumed with planning and strategizing. Martha had warned him of her children's malevolent intentions, and Derek was determined to gather evidence without arousing suspicion. Every interaction with Henry and Laura Manning was fraught with tension, as Derek tried to remain vigilant while maintaining his cover. Henry Manning, in his early 40s, was a figure of both charm and cold ambition. His interactions with Derek were laced with a veneer of concern for his mother, but Derek could sense the underlying greed in his motives. Henry visited frequently, often with Laura Manning, who was equally scheming. Laura, also in her 40s, was a striking woman whose outwardly compassionate demeanor masked a ruthless streak. Their visits, which were supposed to be routine check-ins on their mother's condition, had become Derek's prime opportunities to gather information. One afternoon, as Henry and Laura arrived for their scheduled visit, Derek was in the midst of his usual tasks. He adjusted Martha's position in bed and ensured her comfort, all while keeping a watchful eye on the siblings. As they entered the room, Derek greeted them with his customary professional warmth. "How is she today?" Henry asked, his tone seemingly concerned but laced with an impatience that Derek noted. "She's the same," Derek replied, keeping his voice neutral. "I'm just making sure she's as comfortable as possible." Laura glanced at Martha with a fleeting look of disdain before turning her attention back to Derek. "You're doing a good job," she said, though her words carried a faint edge. "We just want to make sure everything is in order." As they conversed, Derek observed their body language closely. Henry and Laura spoke in hushed tones when they thought he wasn't listening, discussing matters that were clearly beyond simple care. Derek couldn't make out all the details, but the snippets he overheard confirmed Martha's fears. The siblings were indeed plotting something, and Derek knew he had to act carefully to gather the necessary proof. One evening, Derek decided to take a calculated risk. He carefully placed a small recording device in the room where Henry and Laura often discussed their plans. The device was hidden discreetly but was positioned to capture any incriminating conversations. Over the next few days, he listened to the recordings, which revealed chilling details of their scheme. Henry and Laura were not merely content with waiting for Martha to pass away naturally. They had devised a plan to hasten her demise, using a combination of deceit and coercion. The recordings included discussions about manipulating Martha's medication to induce a fatal condition, and even the possibility of staging an accident. Derek was horrified by the cold, methodical nature of their plot. Despite the gravity of the situation, Derek continued to act as if nothing had changed. He maintained his role as Martha's caregiver, offering her reassurance and support. Each visit from Henry and Laura was an opportunity for Derek to further his investigation and collect more evidence. One particularly tense evening, as Henry and Laura were leaving after another visit, Derek received a message from Martha. Her eyes, filled with a mixture of fear and hope, met his. "We need to act soon," she whispered. "They're becoming more desperate. I can't wait much longer." Derek knew that the time had come to bring the situation to a head. He began making preparations to expose the plot. He contacted a trusted friend in law enforcement and arranged a meeting to share the evidence he had gathered. Derek knew that presenting this evidence to the authorities was a crucial step in protecting Martha and ensuring that justice was served. Meanwhile, the interactions between Derek and the Manning siblings grew increasingly strained. Henry and Laura's paranoia was palpable, and they began scrutinizing Derek more closely. Derek had to be even more cautious, ensuring that his actions did not raise their suspicions. One evening, as Henry and Laura arrived for their usual visit, Derek was ready. He had coordinated with the police to be on standby, and he was prepared to make the move when the moment was right. Martha, who had been anxiously waiting, was ready to confront her children. The stage was set for a confrontation that would reveal the true nature of Henry and Laura Manning's greed and betrayal. Derek was poised to expose the siblings' sinister intentions and put an end to their plot. The tension in the mansion was palpable as the plan moved into its final stages, with every action and word carrying the weight of impending revelation. As the evening drew to a close, Derek prepared for the crucial moment that would shift the course of the story. With the evidence in hand and the police on alert, Derek was determined to see the truth come to light and protect Martha from the treachery of her own flesh and blood. The mansion's opulent walls were about to witness a dramatic unraveling of deceit and greed, setting the stage for the dramatic turning point in their twisted tale. The evening of the anticipated confrontation had arrived, and the atmosphere in the Manning mansion was tense with unspoken dread. Derek Brown, having coordinated with the police, was prepared for the high-stakes revelation. Martha Manning, who had been anxiously waiting for the right moment, was resolute in her determination to confront her children and end their cruel scheme. As Henry and Laura Manning arrived for their regular visit, Derek maintained his usual professional demeanor, though his mind was focused on the plan that was about to unfold. Martha, who had regained a sense of purpose despite her weakened state, had been preparing for this moment. She had expressed her desire to expose her children's betrayal and ensure they faced justice. Henry and Laura entered the room, their expressions a mixture of feigned concern and underlying impatience. Derek greeted them with his customary warmth, though he couldn't shake the feeling that their facade was starting to crumble. He observed their every move, noting the way they exchanged glances that suggested they were on edge. "Evening, Derek," Henry said, his voice carrying an edge of forced casualness. "How's Mother tonight?" "She's as comfortable as she can be," Derek replied, carefully hiding his own tension. "I'm just about to start her evening routine." Laura, her eyes betraying a hint of irritation, moved closer to Martha's bed. "We're just here to make sure everything's in order," she said, her tone betraying her impatience. Derek carefully monitored their interactions, waiting for the right moment to set the plan into motion. As he began adjusting Martha's position in bed, he subtly signaled to the police officers stationed outside the mansion. They were prepared to intervene when the moment came. Martha, lying still in bed, had been quietly observing her children. With a deep breath, she took a decisive action. She turned her head slightly, allowing her eyes to meet Henry's and Laura's. "I have something to say," she announced, her voice trembling but resolute. Henry and Laura exchanged uneasy glances, clearly startled by the sudden shift. "Mother," Henry said, trying to mask his surprise. "Are you feeling okay?" "I'm more than okay," Martha replied, her voice gaining strength. "I've been awake and aware for months. I was just waiting for the right time to confront you." The room fell silent, and Derek could sense the tension escalating. Henry and Laura's expressions shifted from feigned concern to genuine alarm as they processed Martha's words. Derek seized the moment, stepping forward to address the situation. "Martha has been aware of everything," Derek said firmly, "and we have evidence of your plans." At that precise moment, the police officers, who had been waiting for the signal, entered the room. Their presence was a shock to Henry and Laura, who stared in disbelief. Derek took a deep breath and continued, "We have recordings of your discussions about plotting to kill your mother to claim her inheritance. The police are here to take you into custody for attempted murder and fraud." Henry and Laura's shock quickly turned to panic. "This is ridiculous," Henry protested. "You can't do this." Laura tried to make a run for the door, but the police swiftly intervened, restraining her and Henry. The room was filled with a mix of disbelief and relief as the siblings were taken into custody. Derek watched as Martha's face, once filled with anxiety, now showed a hint of triumph. With Henry and Laura detained, Martha was finally free from their malevolent plans. Derek took a moment to reassure Martha, who was visibly shaken but grateful. "It's over," Derek said gently. "You're safe now." As the police led Henry and Laura out of the mansion, Derek and Martha were left alone. The weight of the situation slowly lifted, and Martha, despite her weakened state, expressed her deep gratitude to Derek. "Thank you for everything," she said, her eyes filled with sincere appreciation. Derek nodded, understanding the gravity of what had transpired. "I'm just glad we could stop them in time." In the days that followed, the legal process took its course. Henry and Laura faced charges of attempted murder and fraud, and their greed-driven plot was exposed to the public. The Manning family's reputation was marred by the scandal, but Martha's safety was no longer in jeopardy. With the immediate threat gone, Derek continued his role as Martha's caregiver, providing her with the support and comfort she needed as she recovered from the ordeal. Their bond grew stronger, and Martha began to trust Derek not just as a caregiver but as a true ally. The mansion, once a place of fear and deceit, began to regain a sense of calm. Derek and Martha worked together to plan for the future, focusing on how Martha's fortune could be used to make a positive impact. Martha was determined to ensure that her wealth would benefit others, and Derek was committed to helping her achieve this vision. As the days passed, Martha's condition stabilized, and Derek continued to care for her with the same dedication and compassion that had marked their journey so far. Together, they began to plan for a future that would honor Martha's legacy and make a meaningful difference in the world. The weeks following Henry and Laura's arrest brought a profound change to the Manning mansion. The once opulent estate, now stripped of its sinister secrets, became a haven for new beginnings. Derek Brown remained by Martha Manning's side, providing her with unwavering care and support as they both focused on the future. Martha, having endured the trauma of her children's betrayal, began to recover both physically and emotionally. Her trust in Derek had deepened, and they worked together to plan the next steps for Martha's fortune. Their shared vision was clear: to use the $20 million inheritance to make a difference in the community. One sunny morning, Martha and Derek sat together in the mansion's library, discussing their plans. Martha's demeanor was one of quiet determination, a stark contrast to the fear and anxiety she had once felt. "Derek," she began, her voice steady, "I want to make sure that my wealth is used to help those in need. I've been thinking about what we can do." Derek nodded, eager to hear her thoughts. "I'm listening, Martha. What do you have in mind?" "I want to create a community health clinic," Martha said. "A place where low-income families can receive quality medical care. It's something that will honor my legacy and make a real difference." Derek's eyes lit up with enthusiasm. "That's an incredible idea. I've always dreamed of opening a clinic like that, but I never had the means to make it happen." Martha smiled, a sense of fulfillment evident in her expression. "I believe in your vision, Derek. I want you to lead this project. You have the compassion and dedication to make it a success." With Martha's blessing, Derek began to put the plans into action. The process was meticulous, involving everything from selecting a location to securing permits and hiring staff. Martha's financial support made it possible to turn their vision into a reality. The clinic, named Manning Community Health Center, was established in a central location in Dallas, easily accessible to those who needed it most. It was designed to provide comprehensive medical care, including primary care, preventive services, and mental health support. Derek took a hands-on approach, ensuring that every detail was in place to meet the highest standards of care. As the clinic neared completion, Martha's health continued to stabilize. She was often involved in the planning discussions, providing guidance and offering her support. Derek appreciated her involvement, knowing that the clinic would be a testament to her generosity and spirit. The grand opening of the Manning Community Health Center was a momentous occasion. The clinic was filled with community members, local leaders, and supporters. Martha, despite her frailty, attended the event, her presence a symbol of hope and resilience. Derek, standing proudly beside her, addressed the crowd with heartfelt words. "Today, we celebrate not just the opening of a clinic, but the beginning of a new chapter in our community," Derek said. "Thanks to Martha's generosity and the support of many, we are able to provide essential medical care to those who need it most. This clinic is a testament to her legacy of compassion and commitment." The audience applauded, and Martha's eyes shone with tears of pride. Derek felt a deep sense of satisfaction as he watched the community come together to celebrate the clinic's opening. It was a powerful reminder of the positive impact that could be achieved when people work together for a common good. As the months went by, the Manning Community Health Center became a vital resource in the community. Derek's dedication ensured that the clinic operated smoothly, providing care to thousands of individuals and families. The clinic's success was a testament to Derek's hard work and Martha's vision. Martha's health gradually declined, but she remained a source of inspiration for everyone involved with the clinic. Her legacy was evident in the countless lives that were touched by the care provided at the center. Derek continued to visit Martha regularly, ensuring that she received the best possible care and companionship. One peaceful evening, Martha passed away quietly in her sleep. Her passing was a profound loss, but her legacy lived on through the Manning Community Health Center. Derek felt a deep sense of gratitude for having had the opportunity to work with Martha and honor her memory. The clinic continued to thrive, and Derek's commitment to its mission remained unwavering. He found fulfillment in knowing that the work he did was a direct result of Martha's generosity and the bond they had shared. The story of Derek and Martha became a beacon of hope, illustrating the themes of greed, betrayal, loyalty, and compassion. Through their journey, they had turned a story of treachery and deceit into one of healing and positive change. The Manning Community Health Center stood as a lasting tribute to Martha's legacy and Derek's dedication, ensuring that their shared vision continued to impact lives for years to come.